Hey guys, CreamCrazy here. Welcome to my Survivor Series 2012 predictions video. Now, many of you are probably thinking the same way I am. I'm not really hyped for this show. It's quite simple why, because a lot of things have been altered, changed, removed, not booked. It's been poorly booked in terms of time, and if you put all those variables together, I'm just not in for it. I want to see it because Survivor Series always has a special place to me, but, you know, Survivor Series should have a lot more to it than this, you know? It really should, but knowing WWE, I can see why this is the case, because their creative team haven't been on top of things for quite a while. Anyway, we've got 5 matches that have been booked already. Let's get on with them. First off, Eve defending the WWE Divas Championship against Caitlyn. Now, after seeing Caitlyn perform well at Hell in a Cell, I'm really hoping for seeing more of the same, because this could be a decent match if given enough time. And I will say this, it's mostly because Caitlyn put the psychology in and also showed some decent moves. I want to see that. Plus, knowing Eve can wrestle decently well, I wouldn't mind seeing a good match out of this. I have to give the match to Caitlyn here, because it'll increase the length of the feud some more, meaning this can have a huge blow-off at TLC to end it all. Plus, with the lack of divas around that can actually fit a main event spot, seeing someone refreshing at the top could make this quite interesting. Because we always like seeing someone new at the top, don't we? We like seeing someone new, because it makes it, ooh, intriguing. But you know what I mean? If Caitlyn wins, some people will be happy. I'll be happy it's someone new. I'll be happy also that it means, ooh, AJ versus Caitlyn soon at WrestleMania, perhaps? I'm thinking too far ahead here, but you can link it together, couldn't you? It makes perfect sense. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather see Caitlyn as champion than Eve. Even though I'm happy with Eve as champion, I just think they need some fresh blood. And a way to inject fresh blood into the Divas division is have someone new beat the champion. Much like how Eve won the title from Maurice in London on Raw some years ago. It needs to be done for the surprise factor, and because it needs to be done just generally on the concept of it all. Next, we have Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth for the United States Championship. Now, I have mentioned many times that Antonio Cesaro, the man formerly known as Claudio Castagnoli, hasn't been the most convincing of champions, no matter how much his heat has been gradually increasing, no matter how much his mic work is improving, or no matter how much his dominance in matches makes him look. Because me and WWE are on the same page. We have not been getting what we wanted from him, and that's disappointing. But then again, I know who we can blame on this. We can blame the creative team, because they haven't booked him in the right feuds, they haven't made his matches long enough, they haven't given him the right gimmick, and in all fairness, it's just gone down the shitter from here. Really. Because not a lot of people are caring for him. To be honest, even though I like him, neither am I. The good thing is, though, he's facing R-Truth, and this should mean that this match shouldn't be a squash like the last couple of matches he's had have been. Well, Cesaro, not R-Truth in this case. But you see my point. Truth will give him a run for his money, should be quite entertaining. R-Truth has been in tag team hell for most of the year. It'd be really nice for him to get a mid-card title run, because he hasn't had one in a while. Plus, if Kofi is going to the main event, like I predict, in the next couple of months, then he will need to have the spot filled by somebody, and Truth fits the bill because he's over, people care about him, and his gimmick could mean he can go with anybody. So, why not? The tangibles fit. Every piece fits the puzzle here. Really does. You know what? I hope he does win, though, Truth. Not just because of what I just said, but because his last US title reign, his only one, I may add, lasted a week. He won it, he beat Miz on Raw, and then lost it the next week on Raw. Okay. You don't want that to be the one single mid-card title run in his book. Truth has way more to give. And I think he'd be a very good, solid face of mid-card action on Raw. Wouldn't it be fun? Yes, I think it will definitely be fun to see R-Truth as R-Truth as champion, and people will be happy that Cesaro has lost. On the case of Cesaro, though, if he does lose, I hope they give him more edge, more aggression, more of a reason to beat somebody up. Hell, why not have him come back, acknowledging that he's got more to him, by acknowledging he's won titles overseas, instead of saying, oh, he's been overseas, he's been in rugby and got kicked out because he was too aggressive. He hasn't shown it. He hasn't shown that to me. And I want him to just basically say, look, you should take me seriously, because I'm the real deal. If you don't take me seriously, I'm going to show you people why you should care by beating up people you care about. Because Cesaro, no matter how offensive he is in terms of his moveset, his general angry mic work, he hasn't got the intensity that he needs to actually make people think that he's a good heel. Because honestly, he can insult Americans all he wants, but it's not going to get him anywhere. He needs to have some ferocity, because even in matches, it doesn't look like he has it. He's got that cool, calm collectedness followed by a spout of aggression. There's not enough for me to care. I'm a person who supports him. So, yeah, just go for it, make Cesaro better, and hopefully at the Royal Rumble he can make an impact for himself by lasting a while. Then people can care. See what I mean? You build it up correctly, it works. Anyway, next up is the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, which consists of Team Ziggler, who features Dolph Ziggler, no shit, Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow, Rhodes Scholars, and Alberto Del Rio. Now, I have no idea if Paul Heyman will still be in the corner for this, despite the fact he did pick the team. So maybe he will be still there, because he's got an obligation to keep up with what he's got himself into. And they will face Team Foley, consisting of The Miz, shockingly, Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Team Hell No in any other case, and Randy Orton, with Mick Foley, of course, no shit, in their corner. Now, this match lost a lot of steam. For me personally, and for many others, because once Punk and Ryback were dropped out of the mix, this match lost all of its pizzazz, because everyone was going into it thinking, probably like I was, Punk gets to remain champion for 365 days, which will mean his team will probably lose, and he can then still brag, but it'll give Ryback a position to launch himself. He can be recognised as a legitimate person in the eyes of the crowd. People will care, the match serves its purpose, la-dee-da, we get something from it. That's how it should have been. And also, Dolph Ziggler should really be fighting John Cena. You see, why ruin two perfectly good matches? Why take one match apart, then take another possible match apart and put them in different places? Really, what is the point? Because Ziggler versus Cena and this Survivor Series match before 2 weeks ago sold me the pay-per-view. This sold me this pay-per-view. And it really made me lose a lot of interest, because WWE thought, oh, Survivor Series tag match, that won't sell. But seeing Punk get his ass kicked in any scenario, for some people, will make them sell. With Ziggler versus Cena, to be honest, I haven't seen that match in a while. I was looking forward to it with the storyline behind it. But no, we don't get that either. Because WWE do not think things logically through. The creative team, I mean. Because seriously, I would have rather seen Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero in his corner versus Cena with AJ in his. I mean, that would make this storyline worth it. Now the feud is dead in the water and redundant. Now it doesn't matter. Now all this bullshit between Vicky Guerrero and AJ doesn't mean anything. Because we haven't got the payoff on a big pay-per-view that, to be honest, needed a match like this. But they won't get it. It's stupid. WWE dropped the ball, and I don't know why they did it. Oh, because of monies, but no. If this pay-per-view doesn't sell as much, it'll be because of the fuck-up they did. Enough said. On the plus side, however, Ziggler versus Foley may finally have some footing for it, because it could have happened at the start of the year. It didn't, but hopefully now they can revisit it and build something on it, because Edge versus Foley made him a star, Triple H versus Foley made him a star, Orton versus Foley made him a star, and, well, Ziggler versus Foley make him a star, because that's just generally how things go, because Foley is the maker of stars, end of fucking story. There are two things, though, even with all the negatives, and that small positive, do still make this match quite interesting to me. 1. Whether Cody Rhodes will last long in here due to his recent injury at the hands of Kane at main event, and whether Randy Orton will turn heel. Because with Miz recently turning face, it seems, it's perfect for Orton to turn heel, to fill the void that Miz left behind. Because that's obvious, isn't it? Because, okay, Orton wants to turn heel. The fans want him to turn heel. WWE wants him to turn heel. The fact is, when you got WWE thinking, you know what? Go ahead. We'll give you what you want. We'll do it. If they don't do it here, I don't know where else they're going to do it. There's no more perfect time when you have an over babyface legend managing your team. You've got loads of other faces in your team. You're surrounded by a potential goldmine of people you could RKO. Enough said. It just works, doesn't it? It really does. As for Rhodes, I can suspect a quick elimination will happen to spare him pain, because I know Dan does not want to see Cody Rhodes in pain, and a lot of other people don't either. So he'll be able to get eliminated quickly, possibly by Kane, and if anything happens, they can feud with each other in the new year when he's fully recovered from it. Because, to be honest, taking someone out through injury and making them look a fool in a Survivor Series tag match is a good enough build to make a feud going. Because it's got enough, seriously. No matter how good Foley's team looks on paper, I can see this as a surefire win for the heels. It'll give Ziggler that catapult he needs for a cash-in and added exposure. Because Wade Barrett got exposure last year. It didn't last him too long because of his injury, but he still got it. You know? He can get some exposure that people will make. People think, oh, he's the leader of a team that won Survivor Series. He's a guy I should keep my eye on. That's how it goes. It'll make Rhodes Scholars beat their champion opponents and make them look weak in comparison. And it'll make Del Rio and Barrett look relevant again by winning something for the first time in a while. Really, I think it'll be beneficial for all the heels here. Every single one of these heels can benefit. The faces, well, no. The faces winning doesn't do anything for them, bar one solitary name, and that is Kofi Kingston, because he's got a major chance to set himself apart from what he's done before and make himself something of worth to the audience. Do you know how he does that? Let me explain. He needs to do something like what Shawn Michaels did in 2003. Do a spirited comeback, but still lose. Because if you can give somebody a spirited comeback, you're fighting for the cause of Foley, for his desire to prove that he's still got what it takes, even in managing a team. Then he can do something. Kofi can, as he's a very over, happy-go-lucky babyface, it fits the mold. If he manages, say if he goes 4-1 down against Team Ziggler, well, if Cody gets eliminated, I can perfectly see how that happens. And then Kofi fights back, manages to take it back to Ziggler, the last guy, and then you see Orton come out of nowhere, RKO Kofi to ruin the match. 1, 2, 3, Ziggler and his team get everything they need. Orton turns heel. Kofi, even in defeat, looks strong and people would care about him. All that needs to happen. All of this in this one match is why this is still of some interest to me. I haven't fully chucked it, even though it was literally shafted of its soul 2 weeks ago. Even with that, I am still finding a lot in it that could possibly make it interesting. Let's hope that WWE look at common sense, look at logic, and say, we could do a lot of good here. It's not just a throwaway anymore. We could do something worthwhile. Why not do it? You know, I don't think they will, though. I just think they'll make the faces win because it'll make everybody happy. Oh, God, it will not make me happy in the fucking slightest if they even bother. Hell, if they even do what they did for 2006 or 7. No, it was 2006 when Team DX won against everybody. If they do that again, I will... I don't want that to happen. I want to see something legitimately reasonable happen. Because everything I have said about this match makes some form of sense in every way. And if you can't see that, I don't know where the hell you are, what planet you're on. Because I can see it this way, why the hell can't you? It's perfect. Heels get everything they want, Ziggler gets added exposure, Kofi becomes a respected face, and Orton turns heel. All that makes sense. And if WWE don't see that, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Because their creative team, it'll prove if that doesn't happen, suck ass. They already do suck ass, but this makes it a lot worse. God, I get myself too fired up for nothing here. Next up, Big Show versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Big Show and Sheamus got a massive amount of critical praise for their match at Hell in a Cell, and many are expecting more of the same. I, however, want more. You see, I wasn't overly impressed like many others were. I hope that this match has a better crowd reaction, more equal offense from both men. Hell, they can match each other for the first 5 minutes, and then that will make us go, ooh, this is a bit unpredictable. Show won't win, or even the likelihood of Sheamus getting his comeback later on, even though it happened last time, has a lower probability of happening now. Maybe they could brawl in the crowd for a while. Maybe Big Show, before the bell rings, knocks down the referee, and they just brawl for ages, giving some added intensity that this match, to be honest, sorely needed. Because Big Show already proved he's better than Sheamus, why not have this gigantic, huge, vicious battle that lasts a long time? Because people loved it. The chemistry was already there. You just need to build on it. Add something extra. And if a fight in the crowd or on the stage or in the back before the match starts and you see them punch the shit out of each other, you want to see it. You want to see these guys give a shit about the match they're going to have by starting it up early. When did I last ever see that happen? Sheamus beating up Triple H at Extreme Rules 2010. That's the last one I can remember off the back of my head. But you see, they need to do something like that. If they don't, then this will just be another match, and it'll just be very, very samey and boring and nothing different. Much like how the Sheamus Del Rio feud got at one point. See? Makes sense. I just want it to have a little extra spice. Because if it doesn't have that, it'll just be the exact same, and it'll be annoying for me. There's only one way for this match to work. Big Show wins. Because what would be the point of Big Show winning the title if Sheamus were to win it back on the next pay-per-view? That does not make any sense, and I can live with Big Show as champion. Sheamus is okay, but Big Show, to me, I'm not going to complain about it, because Big Show winning legitimately is fine. Dolph Ziggler, though, has a high likelihood of cashing in. Because it is a big platform, and if he does win earlier in the night with the Tag Team Survivor Series match, if it happens earlier, then all's well and good. It all works in our favour. He can win the Survivor Series match, look strong, then when he comes out and cashes in, he'll look even stronger by winning the title at a Big Four pay-per-view. All that is a recipe for success. I don't want it to happen the other way round, where the Survivor Series tag match is still considered big. Ziggler, he cashes in the title, wins it, goes on to his team, and then loses because the faces would need to win. That doesn't make sense. Okay, that's reversed, because he wins a title and then is made to look like shit later on. And knowing WWE, I can see this happening. I can see them thinking, ooh, Ziggler can win the title and all his fans will be happy, and then he can lose the Survivor Series match because it needs to happen that way for good karma, because a heel can't win everything. You see my point. It doesn't make any sense. Ziggler will have to win the tag match earlier on in the evening and then win the title later on. Seriously, if WWE doesn't do that, then I'm not going to be too pleased, because if Big Show can win the championship and look strong in the match with Sheamus, still look strong even after losing to Ziggler, and make Ziggler look better, then, again, it just works. To me, that is logical sense working again. But I don't think WWE will even look at this, because they think they're all well and good changing the script at the last minute, because they think, oh, they'll expect this swerve, why don't we go for something different? Mostly because what they think is different is something very samey. It's not a curveball. It's not something I want. It's not something a lot of people want either. But it'll probably happen that way anyway, because that's just how things go. Again, I'm getting myself stressed for no reason about a pay-per-view, because I want more. Never mind. Anyway, the next match. The main event. As Todd Grisham used to say. CM Punk defending the WWE Championship in a triple threat match against Ryback and John Cena. Now, as I've already mentioned, I'm annoyed at this match even occurring. It ruined 2 possible matches, and it made a feud redundant on the broader spectrum of things. Nonetheless though, I'm going to have to just see the positives anyway, because there are a few. This match will again just give Ryback an extra bit of exposure he needs, plus putting him in a match with Cena will show whether he is really up to the standard he needs to be at this level, which is, to be honest, what you need, because him against Punk in Hell in a Cell didn't do too much. Against Cena and Punk, however, that adds a little bit of value to you, because if you're in a match with 2 guys who can go at it, you know that you're going to get somewhere if you do well. Plus, even better, it gives Punk a challenge to make himself look like a legitimate champion as a heel in a match where he's likely to lose. Think about it though. Punk vs Ryback at Hell in a Cell last month. Ryback lost. Punk, he was likely to lose. Punk was likely to lose that match, but he won. So he looks slightly illegitimate due to the dirty finish, but this match, imagine if Punk walks out the winner. How much more respect would you have for him as a champion? Would you think he's legitimate for holding it for 365 days if he can beat a guy who is massively over at the minute, and in terms of strength even more massive and powerful, and then of course he's beaten Cena again, to again make Cena look a bit weak, and because he's the face of the company, it'll again prove that he's got one-upsmanship. Honestly, that's perfect for me. I'm fine with that. Because that makes perfect sense again. It'll make Punk look strong if he does win. That's why I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping that he can win, come out the next night, and show people I've been the champion for 365 days, I'm officially the best in the world, you can't do anything about it. And then of course, Foley, if he's lost already, can come out and say to Punk, look, I'm sick of you and your bragging. You got lucky. He probably would have gotten lucky last night. Therefore, you know what? Why don't you take someone on who's a real challenge if the Ziggler match doesn't come about? See, there's a lot of possibilities here. Really is a lot of possibilities. There really is. Because Cena winning does nothing. Ryback winning does nothing, because who the hell is he going to feud with? Seriously, I'm really lost on who Ryback can feud with here. Maybe a recently heel-turned Brodus Clay. Maybe, but then he doesn't deserve it. So, yeah, you get a bit lost here. And that's the thing. Punk winning has a lot more to go for it. And I'm hating the idea that this triple threat match will be shit, because you're probably going to have Ryback destroying Punk and Cena coming in every now and again, or you're going to have Cena versus Punk after they take out Ryback. And that's really poor, because this match could last a while. It'll probably be the main event. It'll do a lot. People will be into it. This match will be something of worth. Do not just go down the usual predictable bullshit route of just making 2 guys go at it in the ring while the other one is a non-entity on the outside, when in this match everybody is an entity. You've got the 2 biggest guys in the company bar an up-and-coming huge big freakazoid. To me, they should all be doing something in that match. They shouldn't all just be 1 on the ringside, 2 in the ring. Normal triple threat matches can work that way, and to be honest, they don't, but at least it has purpose. This one, you don't need to work that way. As long as Punk walks out the victor somehow. I don't really, again, like Hell in a Cell, I don't care if he walks out with a dirty finish, because honestly, you can't really have a dirty finish in a no DQ match. So, yeah, it could all be done here. Punk will win. He'll then go on to whoever he faces, probably Foley or Cena or Ryback again in a triple threat TLC or something. Or maybe then he'll go on to The Rock, and then we'll see what happens after the run will go into Mania, because we don't know what's going to happen at that point. Punk will win, he'll be champion for 365 days, people will take him seriously, his heel ego will be inflated even more to make you hate him even more, and you can build from there onto what can happen. The other 2, you got nothing. So, let's hope WWE make the right decision there. Let's really hope the right thing happens. Because if it doesn't, the creative team once again lose a lot of respect in my eyes, because it's going. This pay-per-view, if it goes the right way, much like how SummerSlam was for me, when they booked things in a very logical way, if they can do that, then I will be happy. I will be saying they've booked this correctly, they've taken the right sense of how things should go. They've taken the narrative in the way that it should play out, not in the way that Vince McMahon thinks it should be playing out. And if they do that right, I'll give this pay-per-view a good rating. I will look at the matches in a much different perspective. Because to me, the outcome of the match is more important, just as important as what goes into it. You know? That's why I rate matches the way I do. Seriously. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here because I've worn myself out talking about this. And see, this kind of thing, when I'm losing my breath over this, it means, oh, Freddy's excited. I'm not. I'm still having my doubts about this pay-per-view because I've seen a lot of shit pay-per-views recently. I want to see WWE give us something like SummerSlam, something which has decent, logical booking. Not just giving the faces the wins because it's the thing that the fans apparently want to see. Making the matches go a decent length of time because you've only got a couple. In fact, fuck it, I'd be fine with the card as it is. I wouldn't bloody well add another Survivor Series tag. Because give these matches time, they will be of great value to you. I mean, hell, I wouldn't even mind seeing AJ versus Vicky in a match, knowing that there's no Ziggler versus Cena to make them have any worth on the night. You know what I mean? There's still a few holes, but this pay-per-view has some promise if done correctly. And I'm hoping you guys believe there is some promise here too, because even though the pay-per-view and the card have been shafted with really shit time of build and the structure of the card being changed on multiple occasions, this can be still of something of decent value. I hope it can do, because that's all I'm hoping for here. I'm hoping that it just is something better. Really. Okay, just look at the ratings I put for these. The ratings I'm put for the last two pay-per-views should be of some looking. Okay? After SummerSlam, I rated Night of Champions 3.5 and Hell in a Cell 3. Now that's a very poor scale. Okay? So I hope WWE can put themselves out of that pay-per-view gutter and give me something worthwhile, because Survivor Series is a big 4 pay-per-view. They need to make it look like it. Even though the card and the star power is not there for it, they can still make it big by doing the right bloody decisions. If they don't do the right decisions, they are just digging themselves another foot in the grave. Because they haven't been booking Raw correctly, which makes people not buy the pay-per-view. And those who buy the pay-per-view don't get a well-booked pay-per-view. So when that ends, they don't tune into Raw the next night because they don't think it's worth anything. And if they rectify it for just one night, people will give a massive lump of shit. They will care, but they won't if WWE decides to fuck it up. I said last month, this could be a make or break. But screw it. Screw it. If this goes wrong, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Because I'm going to still have faith in this company, but the creative team, I will have lost all faith in Vince McMahon and his creative process once and for all if this pay-per-view does not go the way I see it needs to. Because usually, I wouldn't be this selfish about booking a card. But today, I am. Anyway, guys, I have been Queen Crazy. You've been people listening. This has been my Survivor Series 2012 predictions video, and I'll be back on Monday for my review. I don't really know when that'll be, so be patient for it. Also, Q&A questions, guys. Keep posting them in, whether they're personal or not, for the December one. And I must remind myself, next week we're going to have the live stream. And I must warn you guys, it should be quite cool, because I've never done one of those, getting questions on the fly before. Hope you enjoy when it comes. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Hope everyone who's there watching the F1 in Dallas this weekend enjoy that as well, because the season could be really interesting. Seriously, it's a more interesting track than NASCAR. You can bet your bloody dollar on it. I'll see you guys on Monday. Also, must remind you guys, Skype chats tomorrow night. We have Skype chat ready. I'll add you to the Skype menu if I know you're going to be up for it. Mike, Rico, Ray, anyone else who wants to join in, you will know what you want to do. Add me on Skype. It should all be fun. Because it was last time, made a pay-per-view that was reasonably shit worthwhile watching, because people who love it and love talking about it make everything funner. Anyway, guys, see ya. Have a fantastic Sunday and Monday. And I hope by the end of this pay-per-view, we are all survivors. I hope we are all survivors and not the Walking Dead.